Welcome back to Making Money Matter, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Kerry Stevenson, and Truth Bomb Tony's back. I try and bring him back every few weeks. This crappy little market we've got, and every time he comes back, Champ the Chimp is sitting in the background. He's about the only green that we're seeing for a while. And Tony looks more and more cut every time I see you, Tony. Welcome back to Making Money Matter. It's going to be an interesting conversation this week.
Well, where do you lead off?
2020. Well, I'll start.
Oh, my God. So anyone outside of lithium, other fad stocks, 2022, absolute shocker. And we're limping into another just totally diabolical year for any small cap with fundamentals and real people that haven't gone and ventured in a lithium project in Liberia or started doing soil sampling on the moon. It's beyond a joke now. 2 years in a row. The rot started late 2021, but I will be positive here. Out of my 25 years, there are a lot of positive years, and those that have been sandpapered to death in these stocks, regardless of what they announce, you either you stick with it or you give up, and it's certainly not the end. We all go through these phases. A lot of the companies are doing great work, and they're just as dumbfounded as I am. And it's just been tough. I've luckily sought some other things, mainly to do with getting fit, cutting out all the shit out of my diet. So no sugar, no carbs. Really enjoying a year without alcohol, though.
Jesus.
Socially, I'm a bit of I'm a bit of an outcast. But who gives a shit? How hard is it to go up to a bar and order a sparkling mineral water, or heaven forbid, a Coke, no sugar? But my case now is that restaurants should give us more kombucha options as well. And shit, why do people have to go out and poison themselves to have a good time, for Christ's sake?
Oh, look, we don't have to poison ourselves, Tony, but at the same time,
I know.
I like a glass of wine. So you know what? Yeah. Let's get into what we really need to get into. So there'll be people out there going, good on you, Tony. I'm happy with that.
Shut the F up.
But you know what? Shut up. I still like a glass of wine. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to send any champagne for Christmas, that's fine. That's good. But on a positive note, the Making Money Matter YouTube channel, shout out to all of our community out there. Thank you so much. We've almost hit 5,000 subscribers. I would like to get to 6,000 by Christmas. So I'm just going to say right at the start, can you please share this channel with other people? We are certainly going to continue to deliver great content for you. And in the coming weeks, we're going to be giving an educational series where I'm going to break down commodity by commodity what you should be looking for when looking at whether it's gold or nickel or copper or uranium, which, by the way, we'll talk about, Tony. Any of those stocks, what I want to do is give you value by saying, well, what do some of these terms mean? And what should we be looking for when putting your hard-earned dollars? And by the way, not financial advice. I'm just all about getting you guys educated so that you don't make the mistakes that I have done in the past and possibly continue to do. So, Tony, let's start off with Dr. Copper. And the reason I want to do that is because it doesn't make sense to me at the moment. If we're looking at what's going on, which is this huge energy transition where copper is going to be absolutely in such short supply, if it's not already, yet the stocks are just, as you like to say, being sandpapered to death. I don't understand. And the overnights last night showed that copper has come off once again, price-wise. So there's absolutely no focus on copper, yet the supply-demand curve is widening every single day. Have you got any thoughts on this? And is that the sort of commodity that you would say, do you know what, while nobody else is looking, there are going to be opportunities?
Oh, absolutely. And I think the copper story is one for the future. I think this, I'll be straight up. I think this EV dream it's just a pipe dream. You're never going to get the commodities to supply all this shit. EV sales are coming off in China. That's why the lithium price from its all-time high, lithium carbonate price, has halved from its all-time high, yet the stocks are still going against the commodity because traders have got FOMO, and you've got people with hundreds of millions and billions of dollars that don't care really about the short term, throwing money at these companies at the top of the cycle. So I think copper stocks are about as right now as contrarian as it gets. Even more so than going out and buying a resurrecting Blockbuster Video, because that's going to be majorly contrarian. But yeah, and the aspect is a lot of these copper deposits are 4,000 meters above sea level, and they're under 1%. So what I think we'll see is that production, obviously you're going to need a high price to encourage production. But once copper turns around, and it eventually will, some of these copper stocks just look beyond stupid cheap. But that's the way the speculative market has run. These things continue to break down price-wise. Sentiment sucked out of it. They need to raise money. So it's just it's like an S-bend, and there's just been no relief from it. So it's a tough one. You've got to look at the fundamentals. I look at one stock, that Eagle Mountain.
Over in the US, right?
Arizona upgraded the resource from 11 million tons to 28 million tons. Good grade. Stock, we raised their money at 13 cents. It went to about $1.40. It was in the low fives a couple of days ago. In the low fives. Can you believe that?
Again, why? Why the low? Like, why? Is it just because no one cares? Because what did you just say? So that whereabouts? So first of all, ASX code for Eagle Mountain, is it EM2?
Yeah, Echo Mike 2.
Okay, and they're over in the US, aren't they?
Arizona.
Okay, so they're in Arizona, and what have they gone? They've gone from 11 million tons.
The project's grown from 11 million tons acquisition up to 28 million tons. It's 1.35% copper, big exploration potential. Now, part of the reason is that at the last quarter, they were low on cash. I think they were down to about 1.6 million.
Right.
And then you have the panic merchants that assume a low price cap raising. Then they belt it down. And then obviously if the capital raising, just say they do it, it goes on at a lower price. And no one really gives a shit. One of the positive aspects about that company is that Charlie Bass is behind it. He's thrown millions of dollars at it, and he's a viable option. So it's just been unbelievably bad. And that's the only word I can describe it. I thought that to have it, and the problem we had, Kerry, which gets down to friggin' getting this capital gains tax discount, was it 10 bagged within 12 months. So I had some clients saying, I don't want to pay full tax. We better hold some. And, I think with speculation, if anyone takes something away, is don't stress too much about the tax, because if you make money, you got to pay it. And anyway, so I still think that's positive. Do we wait until the funding concerns have cleared? Perhaps, maybe it's okay to pay a bit more to be sure.
Yeah, it's a difficult one. This might sound like a really dumb question, but if stock prices go down and down and down, they've got to keep raising money at lower and lower prices. How do they stay alive?
Well, quality of the asset for start. It's like assuming that these companies will go to zero, but if you've got 28 million tons of copper in a world-class jurisdiction, try saying that half cut. But no, but you're just assuming that if you take that approach, every junior mining company goes to zero, because not many have revenue. We're 2 years into it. It's painful. So it's been a gradual decline. Now some of these stocks, it's called market depth capitulation, Kerry.
Okay.
Where there's a lack of buying on the screen. One seller will hit that bid and say, oh, Jesus, no buying below it. Then the buying will fill up, and then you've got a nasty price decline. So you've got some of these junior stocks, everything is going against them right now. I think we're at peak pessimism. The majority out there are fair weather friends. They're only happy when they're winning. And I look back over 25 years, all of my big winners, we've only really had Spartan this year.
Yeah.
The rest have been, it's been monumentally shit house, let's face it.
That was a technical term, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. Well, most of my wins have come from adversity. Ramilius, Northern Star, Saracen, all the big wins have come from these types of share prices. And when it presents itself, no one's interested. It's just amazing, and it is quite a lonely place at the bottom, because I've never worked harder for less of a result, and that's just the way it is.
When was the last time you saw it as bad as this? Because it's been going on for a little while now, and I'm kind of looking back thinking, I'm sure I said a couple of years ago, oh, it's just got to get better. But it just seems to be the very, very, very long drawn out goodbye.
2015, 2016 for junior resource stocks was pretty ugly. It was ugly for the gold index. The Australian gold index at one point there lost 2/3 of its value. Post GFC, the GFC was V-shaped. I mean, that felt as though the whole financial system was freezing up, but that was V-shaped. Oh God, you'd have to go back to 2000, just after the tech bubble burst, where we're rolling up paper and playing cricket in the aisles of the broking offices. So,
wow.
No, this one's been spectacularly bad. I mean, there's companies now. If Rick Rule talks about Paladin dropping 90%, oh God, there's some quality. It's like a Persian rug sale, you know, everything or a house pop-up sale, you know, everything's 70 to 90% off. And
not everything, but it's not across the board, because I mean, I know you spoke about lithium earlier.
Okay.
I mean, you know, you just got to look at TG Metals, you know, that Stuart McDonald from Vertical Events is involved in. I remember talking to him at his event on the Gold Coast where it was 8 cents before they got the permit, and today I think it closed just over $1. And you think, you know, there's a 10-bagger that I missed.
Well, you know, just take the cover off the DeLorean in the garage, I guess. You just don't know. And once these things get a bit of momentum, they just keep going. I see it, as I mentioned, the lithium price has halved. You've got, you know, Gina steps into Linetown at $3. It's now $1.40.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, $1.40. Because Albemarle bailed, and then you've got cost blowouts. So
wow.
What I'm trying to say is every speculative bubble, and it is a speculative bubble, I don't care, that it will be used for thousands of years to come, maybe, but it's a speculative bubble when you've got companies backdooring in projects continually. This is just like the end of the .com bubble. And companies at .com, quality mining companies, were acquiring a website, or even some companies went into online wine trading, like Wine Planet and stuff like that. And it was ridiculous. And we're in that now.
Yeah.
So, yes, there's going to be huge winners. Yes, I just think the easy money has been made. We've all got order envy, but a lot of people that you know, bought stock at 10 cents and it went to $1. Jesus. Well, are you in a bubble or not? It's up to you to decide. But you know, I did a Zoom for my clients. We had 10 mining companies on. I interviewed them, got to know the fundamentals, and I had Hedley Widdup as the guest.
Hedley.
Oh, he's great, isn't he? One of the smartest guys on the circuit. I think he has been for well over 20 years. And about the only person, there's very few people celebrating the market, but Line Selection, which is trading at 2/3 of its NTA, code is Lima Sierra X-ray, or in Wheel of Fortune, L for Larry, S for Sam, X for X-ray.
No, isn't it LSG?
No, LSX.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Go on.
And he put up his NTA, and Hedley's got $74 million in the bank.
Whoa.
So I'm sure he'll deploy that smartly, but there's not many around that will look at the prices of these companies, do fundamental analysis, and work out that they're trading at a quarter or a fifth of what they should be. And that was the whole theme of that night. And I'm just going to go through it again and just look at these companies, because, as I said, the best wins come from adversity.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's happened over many years. So yeah, we've got the fast money merchants chasing all the pretty girls at the bar, but they're dangerous. They've got their Klingons, and they'll take 80% of your money.
Wow. Okay.
It's the terrible truth about speculation, because it's a jungle. It's a friggin' jungle. It's psychological warfare, because you might be up against someone that wakes up in a bad mood, or who's getting divorced or got some other issues, and they'll sell the stock. You feel bad about it. You sell out at the bottom, and yeah. So now this is the toughest I've seen it on a psychological basis, and then throw in a cost of living crisis and more shit in the world, and yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay. On that,
put that on your bingo card.
On that happy note.
I'm actually positive. People say, "Oh, why you say no?" That's bullshit. I get all the negativity washes over me because people aren't winning. Yeah, I accept that. But geez, look at the opportunities coming.
Absolutely, Tony. And I think that's one of the things I wanted to get across this week, which is, guys, I get it. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some, but there are opportunities there. But you've got to do your homework, or you've got to be a client of Tony's or whoever else. Like, Tony doesn't care, but what he does care about is that you do get educated and don't just listen to the barbecue mafia and think that, you know, somebody standing around the campfire is going to give you good advice. It's not necessarily you've either got to do the work or get somebody like Tony who can do the work for you. And yes, clearly, sometimes you're not going to win all the time. That's the speculative end of this type of market. If you don't want to get into the speculative end, well, then go and buy, I don't know, BHP and Rio, or go and buy an ETF which covers a whole bunch of stocks. But, you know, if you want to go and play in this end, you've got to have a risk appetite.
Yeah, I've also someone created a website for me, TonyLocantro.com.
Oh,
I'm going to give it a plug. So if you go in there and put your details in, I'll start doing something maybe next month or early next year, just providing some insights. Some got an invite to the Zoom session, I will admit, and they had a chance to sit on the biotech and the mining session. But again, it's just a sign of the market. I had 85 people register, and you get 30 no-shows. Maybe more.
Wow.
I don't know why. And then I just think people rocking up late to Zoom presentations. I think anyway, maybe they got stuck in traffic. I don't know.
No. Manners, ladies and gentlemen. If you register for something, although, Tony, I have to say, I might have been guilty, because I think it was on the 21st, wasn't it? 21st.
Yeah, I ran the biotech night on the 20th and the mining night on the 21st. Yeah.
Okay, well, listen, I'm a no-show because I registered on the 22nd, not realizing the dates.
Yeah, anyway, no, I'm just saying that reflects where the market is. As I've said, you're going to have bad years. It's just rare to get two shockers in a row. All my companies really are coming up with great news. They've got great growth prospects. All right.
I'm going to ask you this, Tony. Mm-hmm. I'm going to ask you to give us, because I quite often say to my clients when I'm doing an interview with them, give them 3 reasons people should sit up and take notice of you right now. Are you prepared to give 3 companies that you're having a very close look at right now, or is that just for your clients?
Well, I'm fairly generous, but I've been repeating the same stuff. That's the issue, because when a stock's cheap, it stays cheap. I don't deviate. I don't give up on them.
Good.
There's lots of look. We're in. I'll get to the point shortly. I can assure you of that. We're in the admin phase where there are lots of capital raisings. There's lots of rights issues. There's stocks that are running, and so Chimeric, one example, runs to 4.8 cents. My clients have got a rights issue opportunity at 2.8, so we sell at 4.8 and we get the stock back. That's called the admin phase, and that's happening in that will happen in a lot of stocks, and that's unfortunately, we've taken a big hit on it. It's been, despite all the good news, it has been a nasty downtrend, but sometimes you just got to keep active and get your head out of the bloody sand. So that's part of the admin phase, and there's all these low price capital raisings, and you just got to take these little arbitrage opportunities when they present. I'm happy to provide some stocks. I took a lot of feedback from both the mining and the biotech night. I think that one of the standout presenters was Ian Bamborough from Saturn Metals.
Oh, that's a great project. And you know what? Before you get into the rationale behind that, one of the things that I like, and I often say this to people, Tony, and that is, it's not just the project, it's the people behind it. And the one thing I like about Ian Bamborough is he is as straight as they come. He is lockstep with shareholders, and he's not one of these people that goes, I'm just going to pay myself a ton of money and not do much. He works his yin-yang off.
Yeah.
So over to you.
Code is Sierra Tango November for the phonetics. S for Sam, T for Tom, and for Nelly for those that miss Wheel of Fortune. No, 1.8 million ounces, just over that. It's low grade. It's heap leachable. The grade is, people look at the grade and say, nut, too low, but it's got beautiful metallurgy, great ounces per vertical meter. And he actually came up with some very high grade hits. Just like a snippet of what Simon Lawson has come up with at Never Never. But people have got to realize that this is a very low grade deposit, subject to acid, so it's heap leach. It has a lot of benefits. I think over 60% of the world's gold production is actually heap leach.
Wow.
But the real cheesecake with, I shouldn't mention that word because that's what I miss, cheesecake and a vanilla slice. But you actually have carnivore cheesecake. I've got a recipe. But if you look at the exploration potential around Apollo Hill, it's immense. And I think that this is a unique deposit where I'm hoping that no one comes in and takes the company over, because I look at this as a potential Capricorn. Cody's Charlie Mike. Capricorn is the textbook of building a low-grade gold deposit into a major mining company.
Yeah.
And Hedley Widdup put $3 million into it.
Into what?
Saturn.
Really?
He took 3 mil into it. Raised at 12.5 cents. Stock's currently 14. If they could grow, wow! And I love that story. And clients that saw him talk feel the same way. Saturn Metals.
Okay.
Sure, stockbroking had about 90 cents on it. They had to reduce that target over. They had to cut it into the 40s. Based on the fact that no one understands or cares about heap leach. So a great story to look at. Red Metal on known fundamentals is the best value junior resource stock on the market, in my opinion, in terms of rare earths, in terms of owning half of Maronan Metals, which has one of the best undeveloped silver deposits in Australia, near Cloncurry. Rob Rutherford, outstanding. How he has kept that company under 300 million shares on issue.
Amazing.
20 years. Now, he's another guy that cares about shareholders. And there is a connection there with Joshua Pitt, involved in Red Metal and involved in Saturn as well. So these are niche companies. They're asleep. It's like the Melbourne Cup. They're asleep on the rails for most of the journey. I cop so much crap on social media about Red Metal. I don't know why. It provides lots of good returns over time. So that would be the second one. Third one, I'm gonna provide clients with something a little bit different. Adulta. Code is 1 Alpha Delta. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this one is one of my other companies, Dimerics, it's in phase 3 over a rare kidney disease, and they did a potential licensing deal for $10.8 million up front and potentially over $200 million. And the stock went from about 6 cents up to about 20. They're currently 14. And I think that what Tim Oldham has done with the Adulta is working towards the fibrosis drug AD214, is working towards partnering deals. This stock has been through it. They've had to look at how they provide it, intravenous or inhaling it. It's just seen the tough times. It's had to raise money at low levels. They've got a CAR-T program in conjunction with Carina Biotech. Carina Biotech is funded by Tattering, and there's another Andrew Forrest fund in there. So Andrew Forrest owns a lot of Carina. Tim is visible. Look, a lot of this work, Kerry's reading people's body language. I've learnt that as a cop. I don't think that's illegal. I think that's not insider trading. That's being somewhat smart.
Yeah, I agree.
And he's got an alliance with GE. EV of $6 million. They've spent $45 million thus far on this AD214 for idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis. Which
well done.
Yeah, no, well, it's just called the sober lifestyle, which is insidious. So that's certainly one to watch. So my 3 stocks to research are Saturn Metals, Red Metal, and Adulta. Now, they're just 3 of my children. Most of them are redheaded, and they're not mine. Redheaded, freckled, and not mine. There you go.
Apologies to all the redheads out there.
No, they're beautiful.
I consider myself a strawberry blonde, just quietly. So,
well,
to all you redheads out there, I think you're gorgeous. You know,
it's a saying. It's a saying. I didn't come up with it, and
I know. I'm just teasing you, Tony.
But I have stubble, so I'm as low maintenance as they come. But I did actually for these interviews. I do have a shower, a shave, and I wear deodorant and aftershave. So there you go.
Thank goodness, because Champ the chimp would be unconscious. And that's about the only green that you're going to see at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. But that does not mean that you shouldn't be doing your own research. And as Tony just said, he's given you some his ideas. But what he said most importantly is these are ideas for you to go out and research. Because the thing about this market is this is a time where you actually need to do even more research, in my opinion, and understand, know how to read a quarterly report, figure out whether or not you like the fundamentals of the company and you like what the company is standing for. So there's a lot of things to look at. But if you don't like this speculative end of the market, step away from the fire and go into something which will give you a comfortable dividend, and you don't have, and then you'll sleep at night. But I kind of like the cut and thrust of this level of the market, Tony. Last word goes to you as we finish up, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks. Last final word of advice from Tony Locantro, the cut Tony and Champ the chimp.
Well, I think we need to look at the comment. I'm going to say swing low, swing hard.
Yes.
And
what does that
the
mean?
reason why I'm using that saying is some of these share prices have capitulated. There might be a little bit more downside, but when there's this much value, sometimes you just got to say, I'm going for it. There's always these excuses like I put it on my watch list, which means I want to get off this phone call. And just, you got to go for it, because all my hindsight war stories have come from these share prices. I don't think the market hasn't changed since the 1600s. The bullshitters are still bullshitters. It's just different styles and different trends. So yeah, swing low, swing hard. And I think probably the message for people that have endured the 2 years I have, just don't give up. Don't give up.
Ladies and gentlemen, is what makes winners, those that don't give up. So, as Tony said, swing low, swing hard just means prices might be low. That's the time to swing hard. or get out of the market and don't give yourself a migraine. But for now, Tony Locantro from Alto Capital, thanks so much for joining me on Making Money Matter. We will see you, Truth Bomb Tony, in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, I might have a little bit more of an outlook for the year. So all the best, everyone, and drink up.
Yeah,
Drink
we'll
up,
see you
guys.
before Christmas. Thanks,
Yeah,
mate.
look forward to it. See
Cheers.
ya.